And so more effectively, if I were taking leads from a dialer right now, I would understand that one, all of them are going to ask for a lower rate, but they only ask if you let them ask. And so if you haven't used my script yet, my script has nothing to do with rate. If anything, it helps them understand that they're going to save time and they're going to stop in the conversation if I can't move any further. If anything, I'm going to point them in the right direction. Whereas a lot of people who have issues with this KPI from lead to credit pull, their intro sounds like this. Hey, Jim, thanks for holding. This is Dan with New American Funding. How can I help you today? That's where they have issues. Why? Is because you've given them the opportunity to say, yeah, I'm just looking for your lowest rate. And then what happens unknowingly, our subconscious reacts because our memories are referencing the rate sheet. Our memories are referencing that good market of 3.25. So then we'll ask, okay, well, what rate do you have? Does that sound familiar? We respond, well, what rate do you have? I got 3.25, 30-year fixed. Oh, and then your mindset goes down even further. But if we take a step back and we look at it, right? Like we watch children play. Like I got kids, so I get to watch them go through things and them experience things. I already know the result, right? So if you look at your cycle, you'll notice that we forgot the fact that they just needed something. They were thirsty, basically. They needed savings. And so if we bring back the true purpose as to why they need the lower rate, we can actually continue to capture their attention. Because again, people like what they know. Get it? And so you might be like, well, Daniel, I don't get it, bro. What are you talking about, like what they know? Like what they know is to, like, if someone said, hey, D, what's your lowest rate? If I allowed them to ask me that question, I underline that. If I allowed them to answer that question. So in other words, you allow them to. You have a choice to put that in perspective, at least from the very first part. Because it's different if they ask you that question at the close. You kind of got that bond already. Does that make sense? But if you're having issues with selling rates and fees or points and you're having issues on getting the credit pulls because typically you're giving too much information. The same mentor gave me this advice that, again, it took me like 3 weeks. I was young. I was like 20 years old, so I didn't understand what it meant. There were no memes, all right? Instagram wasn't a thing, right? So when he said this thing, he was telling me this because he heard me on the phone. He sat right next to me. And when I first came into real estate, I came in as a telemarketer. And I just got promoted. I got promoted real quick. So it was very smooth on the phone. And I took a lot of leads. I did a lot of hours because what I wanted were what the other agents had. They had the nice car. They had the new phone. They had the nice suits. And I wanted that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. And so what I was doing was doing what I thought was right. I was putting in the extra hours. I was taking a ton of apps, ton of leads. And I could not sell because I came up with a subprime lender. And subprime lender, in case you guys don't know what that is, it's like a below credit lender. They basically have super high interest rates. And at the time, we were selling adjustable rate mortgages, 2 years with 3-year prepay. So you're bound to get a prepayment penalty. You're okay with that, right? And prepayment penalties were 6 months of interest. Crazy penalties. And I could not sell it. And so he reached out to me, you know, the young Daniel was like, hey, bud, let me tell you something. And this is one of the closers. This dude was just a G, like an old school guy. Imagine Lazinski if he dressed like Kings of Comedy. Remember how Kings of Comedy dressed up? Did you just crease your jeans, bro? Like that? He was like that. His name is Milton. And Milton was real cool. He's like, hey, young blood. You call me young blood. He's like, hey, young blood, I hear you. You're doing all the right moves. You're taking all the right actions. But you're giving them too much information. They're done with you. They're just using you. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that they were using me. And he told me, hey man, the sales cycle is a give-take relationship. If you find yourself giving, and you're not taking anything, what are you, right? You are a directory. You are an information pamphlet. Once they get the information, they're done with you.